It's turned cold. Um, I didn't sleep as well as I might because I got cold. I'm using two duvet covers as my cover. And actually, I could have done with getting up and putting my duvet on. Yeah, my duvet on. Um, I don't know about you, but I lay there thinking, oh, I need to get my duvet on. And then I go back to sleep. And then I wake up and think, I need to get my duvet on and go back to sleep. So that's what happened last night. So as a consequence, I'm quite tired. Um, and it's quite cold. We've just eaten. I got hungry as well. So tired, hungry, and cold are not good combinations. So we had a bit of a fusion meal. We had the savoury mince and potatoes I made the other day. The rest of that, and the rest of yesterday's Asian-inspired chicken stir fry. So a bit of a mixture. We did some jobs this morning. It's Sunday morning. We Mark cleaned the crocks because they are when we walk up and down the garden and into the chicken shed. They get so covered in dust and chicken shit and my hands aren't working very well at the moment, so I can't clean them. So he cleaned three pairs of Crocs. He emptied the dishwasher, and I put the shark over. We sat out here and had coffee, and I said it's a bit of a shock on a Sunday morning to have three jobs under our belts. And he went, "I'll do anything to avoid going to church." And then we started talking about religion, and I talked about I have shared um, the latest video from the Yankee farm wife who is asking JD Vance questions, and she refers to his um, vision as a Christian form of Taliban, which I think is really clever because it is. You know, the whole Project 2025 talking about, wanting to close down the Department of Education, sort of repressing education. There's a whole repression of women. Um, and he's now moved from cat ladies, childless cat ladies, onto um, post-menopausal women. Um, and she's saying to him, if all these people stay at home looking after children or grandchildren, who's going to be cleaning your hotel rooms? Who's going to be waiting on you? Who's going to be doing all the jobs a lot of women doing? I'm not saying they are women only jobs, but there's a lot of that type of job that women do. I do wish women would just down tools and walk away and allow the government to see what life would be like without women in the workplace. So anyway, we talked about religion and we talked about what does that mean, and Mark joking about uh you know avoiding church. Neither of us go to church. I'm an atheist and I've been an atheist for years. I can remember even in school assemblies when I would have been about, I can't even, 11, 12, 13, that I stopped bowing my head and clasping my hands together. It just didn't do it for me. It was like, what is this about? As children, we were sent to church on a Sunday morning. Mum and Dad didn't come with us. We were sent to church on a Sunday morning. And the only bit I remember about that is the Sunday morning that we didn't go to church, and my older sister used the collection money and spent it. And we walked, I don't know what she spent it on, but we walked away from where the church is up a very busy, sort of dangerous main road for that couple of hours that we should have been in church. The only reason I remember it is don't remember the walk. I don't remember anything about it, but I remember a massive fight at home when it turned out that's what she'd done. Whether I'd split on her, I don't remember. And my younger sister would have been too young and would have been at home. So it would have only been myself and my older sister. Whether I couldn't keep my mouth shut, which was, well, we've seen how I am now. Um, Whether it was that, I don't know. But I remember a real row and her being hit really hard by Dad, it seemed to me. That's all I remember about it. So that's how I remember that we used to go to church. Um, I used to be sent somewhere else, and I don't know whether that was also on a Sunday, to some place nearby, a gathering of people in like a hall, or it was on a first floor, in a with wooden floors in a hall somewhere, to something called Crusaders. I have no idea what that's about. I'm sure I didn't understand it at the time. I've never understood what all this is about. It like it doesn't do it for me. Um, and I'm so I am completely unreligious, if that's a way to put it. And I believe that when people use, for instance, they use, a, talk about a Christian way of behaving, or hold Christians up as, this is how you should behave. I'm thinking, I know of lots of Christians who don't behave in a way that I would like them to behave. And I know for myself that that I act in ways that I would expect Christians to behave, or anybody that cares for other people. So I really don't understand religion. I don't understand why and I'm sad that it it becomes so polarized that people start fighting over my religion is best. That is a massive problem, isn't it? Is my religion is better than your religion. Your religion's bad, my religion's good. And then we have wars. I don't understand it. So that's what we ended up talking about this morning as we sat out here with our coffee after we'd done our jobs. Um, it's weird having voices around. It's weird hearing other people just beside me. It is really weird. And I was saying to Mark this morning that the further up the road there are voices. We're hearing voices coming from there, and we don't normally hear voices. Um, and it's very odd. And I said to him, I'll be pleased when we get to the end of the month and that's all stopped. And he said, well, why? I went, I can't explain it. I just prefer it as I'm used to it, because mostly I'm used to it being quiet, apart from the odd car up and down. Of course, recently in the last couple of years, we've had more cars up and down because there are younger working people living in the hamlet. But since we've lived here, it's been quiet, and we haven't had other people's voices or other people around, and I quite like that. Um, so I find it quite strange that there are voices um, nearby, and I could hear a baby crying the other day. I think I've sussed out who that is, but I could hear a baby crying. I've heard children. It's very, very weird. And that must sound weird to you, to say, for somebody to say that's really weird. But for me here, after 18 years, it's weird, because it is only once a year that we have this. And actually, this is a longer visit this time, and there are visitors next door with my Parisian neighbour, um, which is unusual. So it is, but it's only once a year. But it feels cold enough for it to be the end of August and the beginning of autumn at the moment. There are black clouds around. It rained most of the day yesterday. In fact, when I made that vlog yesterday, I was sitting here and under the umbrella, and there was a light rain, which was quite pleasant. So the garden's been very refreshed. All the stuff that's growing has been very refreshed. So that's good. It's going to be even colder tomorrow morning, early hours. So I will put my duvet on before I even start trying to sleep. Um, and hopefully I'll sleep better tonight. I don't sleep well anyway. I do a lot of dreaming at night nowadays. I don't ever feel that I get into much of a deep sleep. The only time I know that I've had a deep sleep is if I've been facing away from the window on my left side, and um, I wake up in pain on my left hip. So I know that I've been in a deep sleep, because that's not a good place for me to lay for very long. Yeah, so I'm now going to go in and have a siesta, and which will help me get through the rest of the day. And then we struggle. Then I struggle. I struggle at around about 8 o'clock in the evening to stay awake, and then the problem for me is that by 10 o'clock I start to wake up. Then I start going down rabbit holes, and I find myself still sitting there at 11:30, not quite ready. I'm not quite ready to go to bed. That's mad, isn't it? But that's the way it is. So maybe it isn't mad. Maybe it's normal. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for all your comments on the video from yesterday. um, I always put my neck on the line. It's what I do. There's a few, very few negative responses to it. Lots more positive. 95% of the comments are positive. And I guess we just have to watch this space. But thanks for all your comments. Thanks for your support, and thanks for your support on Tattle. I've seen it. Thank you. Okay, bye.